Hello everybody, welcome back to AI War Fleet Command. As promised, we are going to take the Spire fleet, try to smash the AI homeworlds. So we've gone back, rebuilt the capital, gone back to that point in the game, built up the Spire fleet, and we've absorbed a fallen Spire wave, which had 70-some of the big ships, but they were just Spirecraft level. 2 or 3 hunter killers in the mix. Total strength of their massive ships was about 45k, so it was only a fraction, maybe a quarter or a little bit less than that big wave that we dealt with at the end and failed to defeat. So it is about where the strength is at the moment. And it may go up some more from there, but I don't know if it's capped out for the current level. It won't go up nearly that high while we're dealing with all of this. Now, the one thing, they took out a couple systems, and the one that's really hampering us a bit at the moment is the fact they took out Camilla, and we've got to rebuild all of our Spire stuff in here. So that is underway. But they smashed this. You can see we've got lots of stuff to rebuild. That's going to take a little while. In the meantime, there's only so many Spire ships we can build. Where we're headed for first is Eunomia. We've got the fleet up in here. And it's worth noting that if we did not have the Spire fleet, we could be in some serious trouble here, because they've got some new stuff that we haven't seen in previous games on the homeworld. You can see you have a broken golem wave coming, but that's going to be a little while in coming. So none of that is needed to worry immediately. In our previous homeworld assaults in previous games, we've been worrying about the eyes. Threatening eyes, and they've had translocator eyes, and those have caused a certain amount of trouble, so you only want to have so many ships on the homeworld at once. We actually don't have to worry about that anymore. They're not using eyes in this game because they have something better. So there's a couple new things that they have. First of all, is this core heavy beam guard post, which I believe is right here. Yep, there it is. And so it's got an attack of 666, 120 of them every 6 seconds. It's got some pretty solid damage nullifiers, as most of these do. It doesn't have particularly high of health. 400 armor piercing. It's basically good at attacking with beam weapons, pretty much anything that comes into it. That many attacks, it's got the ability to damage one target or multiple, vaporize many smaller craft in one blast, or do extreme damage to a larger target. That's not even the big problem. Also not the big problem is the fact that this fortress here just so happens to be covering, just barely, the area that we're going to be coming in at. Also not the big problem is the orbital mass driver, which we've come to recognize as standard on homeworlds, and core worlds for that matter. No, the big problem is the core cross-planet attack guard posts, and they've got 2 of them here. Launches brutal galaxy-wide cross-planet attacks in response to human players bringing human ships to this post-planet. First one will launch almost immediately. It's got to be charged for about 13 minutes before sending another. They're heavily influenced in their size by both the current AI progress and the difficulty level of the AI controlling this post. Now, even better is that they're on opposite sides of the system, because we've got one down there and one right here in the middle. Of course, we can identify them by the timer. So if we did not have the Spire fleet for this, we would really have some issues. Now, what I've done is I've left the golems back at home to sort of play center field. If we just hop back to Elpis, where are we at? You can see we're mostly full on that golem. And we also do have the Black Widow and the armored ones around. So I plan on hanging all of that out in here. And they're over here, we'll just pull them back. And then they can go and help wherever needs the most help with any of the CPAs. I figure between that and our defenses, I'm hoping we can hold them off. And if we can't, we'll rush the fleet back. But you figure with all of the, like the Spire locations, like Cato, Nemoidia, and Papagena, they'll do pretty well unless it's a massive, if it's several thousand ships, we're going to be in trouble. I don't know how bad it's going to be with 304 AI progress on difficulty 8. We're going to find out real soon. Okay, so I went with a plan that I'm sure everybody's familiar with now. If you watch the Ninezil game, you know exactly what I'm doing here. I'm sending the fleet ships in first to basically distract everybody. I'm going to send a transport with starships to take out the orbital mass driver. then send in the Spire fleet. Now, what we've got going on is you can see each of these is going to produce 2,700 and some. So we're going to have about 5,500, 5,600 ships for the CPAs. That's a lot, but it's not massively overwhelming. I'm going to try to hold out and not lose too many systems without it and press in here. But what you've got going on with these CPAs keep cycling up is already when you go in, you're going to get the exogalactic reprisal in 10 minutes and then every half an hour after that from the homeworld. And they're basically just doubling down, or in this case doubling and tripling down on that sort of reprisal thing. So that you have to, it's even more important to take out the homeworlds quickly. For example, I want to hit both of those guard posts for sure by the time they're ready for a second wave of these attacks. Gonna make sure that we don't have that happen if at all possible. Okay, so I want to take this group, this transport in there, and let's just pop in. There we go. Transport. Now I need to get up here. So I want to head up this way and then over. And they're not attacking it, which is good. Well, they're attacking it a little bit now. There we go. Our 5,600 some ships. And we're just going to look and see where there's a ton of them. And right now that's like nowhere. We're going to want to watch these numbers and be ready to react to them. But for now, you come over here. It's getting hit, but it's not dead yet. Unload. There we go. And here's my starship group. Kill the orbital mass driver. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to send in my Spire group. And this is not going to end well for them. But what I want to do when I come in, because of the fortress being here, I want to get out this way as quickly as I can and get away from the fortress and the worst of this firepower, and then we can figure out what we want to do. They're going to give a lot, but there's a lot of ships in here too. So here we go. And here comes some Spirecraft. Go and take that out while you're here, if you please. Okay, so that wasn't such a hot idea, was it? Whoa, 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 what's all this? No wonder, they've got cursed golems. Where did all that come from is my question. Oh, did they pop the CPAs in here? Because I'm just wondering where all these... These are Spire Hammer ones. These are not the crafty Spire. Because we're going to have to rebuild all this, but where did all of... You know, where did all this come from? Like Strategic Reserve, did they have... Are all these ships part of their Strategic Reserve? That's just a little bit insane. Couple of Cursed Golems... Like 5 regens, a Black Widow, another regen, another Black Widow, all kinds of Spirecraft. Okay, so clearly that plan doesn't work. I'm wondering if that's just the crafty Spire joining in. Let me see if we can figure out where... Okay, so I've learned some more about what's going on here, but it's got me even more confused about how this works. First of all, I tried... looking at how and when they were generated, and basically, you know, they don't appear. The Spirecraft, the golems that it generated when I entered the homeworld, they didn't appear when I sent smaller groups in. It's waiting for a certain amount of force to come in. I'm pretty sure it's a crafty Spire behavior. It says it's not under the crafty Spire control, but I've never seen... It's very similar to what happened initially. You got the crafty Spire that smashed us in that first world that we tried to expand early in the game. I don't remember exactly where it was. It might have been... It was somewhere over in this area. It was like it was Kato and Nemoidia or Naboo, maybe Iris. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but they just showed up early in the game with a bunch of Spirecraft there. Wiped out our starship fleet at the time, and so I sent in the Hive Golem and took them out. That was what happened in that instance. Then we didn't hear from them again. They never showed up when I attacked other systems, even systems of theirs. This is not one of their worlds, but maybe they show up to help other worlds when they're in need. It's weird that they were so big of a response there and not here. And they would only show up when I brought my Spire fleet in. And I don't know exactly what the balance is, but I said, okay, I don't want to fight them in here with all this other homeworld defense in the area. So what I did is I popped them in, my Spire fleet, and popped them back out immediately. Tried to fight them in here in Lunrace, or maybe run back to Camino. I tried that. They didn't follow me. They didn't come after me. They came down this way, out this wormhole to Sibel. And I tried it a couple times. They kept doing the same thing. And they were trying to run around here to Ceres, so I went run around that way, but then they didn't show up there. And the weird thing is, they didn't show up anywhere. Like, it's been a fair amount of time, and they have not been hitting any of my planets. They've got to be out there somewhere, but they're not doing anything. So I went back here and scouted, and no, they're not in the homeworld anymore. Now, in the meantime, the Broken Golem Exo. That synchronized with the CPAs. The CPAs hit a bunch of planets. They won some. They lost some. They took out NHO and they took out Thisbe and they took out Fresenzin, and we fought them off multiple other places. They keep sending carriers to Minerva, but not enough force to take us out, etc. And I'm still guarding Merapi with the botnet. That was still in place at this time. I didn't see any reason to change it, and they've got some more ships in here, but they're not going to succeed. So that's all going on, and I still have the Hive Golem back in here, just in case. We've lost some ships. So, I mean, basically what happened here is that I said, okay, I popped my fleet back into the homeworld to see what would happen. And the short version of what happens here is nothing, as you're going to see. I want to get out of range of the fortress there. But now, all we've got is our Spire fleet versus their homeworld with most of the strategic reserve gone. And that's going to be a rather one-sided affair. And I'm just going around here hammering these. Okay, let's go this way. I want to stay out of the range of this if I can and just snipe their ships as they come. And I've got everything here except for the Hive Golem. So make sure we take these out. Because the main reason I wanted to come back in here as soon as I could, of course, was I don't want to face any more of those CPAs. Then I absolutely have to. There we go. Yep, and there goes Thisbe. They tried to rebuild it, and they nuked it again. Okay, let's go over this way. Because I want to work my way around here, take this core Spire Shield, take this core CPA, take the Leech. But it's fascinating to me that they show up once on our first planetary assault, and then they don't show up again. They show up on the homeworld, and they don't show up again. Now, in theory, a lot of them are out there somewhere in this 4,000 plus threat, but they're not doing anything. And we come back to the homeworld, and they don't come back here to fight us. I don't understand how the crafty Spire logic is working, assuming that I'm right about that, and that is the cause here. In any case, that's gone. And we're going to easily work our way around here, because the rest of this stuff isn't a threat to us. The Golems and the Spirecraft are what smashed us, and probably would smash us again in a straight-up fight. But apparently, we don't have to worry about that. Now, I'm going to take a quick look at this, because that's where the Spire Archive was. And you can see 9,000 out of 3,000. So it took 9,000 knowledge, and we could use that. We may want to do that before this is over. But I'm not going to bother with it now. Right now we got 8 minutes till the Exo attack, which is plenty of time. And I just want to wipe out the rest of this. And there we go. That's the other CPA post, so that's a big deal. And now we're just going to head off this way. Now I just deployed a bunch of stuff in Camino. Let's see what's going on there. Okay, 500 ships. That may or may not succeed here. If we need to rebuild this system, we can. That's not a big deal. I mean, might lose the ether jets from this, but again, I don't care that much about that. I just want to finish off the homeworld. Okay, now we're approaching the fortress, having taken out everything else. And frankly, at this point, the fortress is going to shoot at us. But we've got enough firepower that we just don't care. We're going to plow through it. Boom, there it's gone. We're going to take out the home command station. That's gone. Alright, now let's get out of here and help Camino. And then we're basically going to want to work our way around and clear out any other problem spots, resistance. I'm going to send my scout down there, because that's the other homeworld. That's going to be our next big target when we can work our way around to it. So, a big raid cleansing happened, or threat cleansing rather. Frozenzen's back up, Thisby's back up, NHO is back up. Everything is pretty much as we need it. We've got a couple more pockets in Titanian Saturn. We can see we're down under 1,000. And that big group of Golems and Spirecraft, nowhere to be found. No idea what happened to them. Our scouts down in Neas, and we're going to start getting in there. Now, I've gone through here before, but I have not gone into Calypso, which is what I'm going to use to raid in here. And we'll get into why on that, because Neas, the last homeworld, has another little bit of a surprise. And I have a feeling, whatever they are, the crafty Spirecraft, and in this case Golems, may just show up again when we get to their homeworlds. Will we be able to play Ring Around the Rosie with them if they do? Don't really know. But they have a couple things in here that we have not yet seen, so we will get to that next time. Until then, thanks for watching the Homeworld attack version of the Fallen Spire. We'll continue.